No matter how hard we try, sometimes we either fail to establish trust during negotiations, or, worse, we somehow manage to violate it. If the latter, and the relationship is important to you, like when you're planning on being in business with this party in the future, trust needs to be repaired. This is not as easy as it seems. Sometimes the person whose trust has been betrayed doesn't want to spend the effort and resources to rebuild what is broken, and goes on to setting new relationships. But if you're lucky and your bargaining partner is willing to commit to rebuilding, you can follow these steps during your attempt to reestablish the trust that was lost. Number 1. Let them know you understand something is wrong and their trust has been violated. This will show you are not blindsided by the negotiations and respect them enough to take a step back and reevaluate your approach. Then, try to put yourself in their shoes, gain perspective, and try to discover what was the precise point when their trust was broken. If you manage to isolate the specific grievance, you can proceed to number 3. Time to admit you recognize this event as the destroyer of trusts. Let them know you understand what you did was not fair. Number 4. Admit fault and accept the responsibility for breaking the trust. It would be best if you tried to keep it simple and not engage in a debate about where exactly the fault lies. As you've probably guessed, this will only make repairing the trust this much harder. And lastly, number 5, offer to make amends and compensate for the violation of the relationship. Of course, after you have gone through all 5 stages, it is still possible for your counterparty to refuse to accept the apology, which means the relationship will remain broken. The only thing to do in this situation is try to determine why they are unwilling to reestablish trust. Once you know, try steps 1 through 4 again. You may have gotten it wrong somewhere along the line. Keep in mind that sometimes your bargaining partner may forgive the violation, but decide to ask for reparations that are truly unreasonable. In this case, the relationship will remain broken until you find terms of amends that work for both of you. It may take some additional work. If the reparations they ask for are adequate, the trust will be repaired as soon as you carry out your end of the deal. That's fair, right? Naturally, the best scenario is if the other party accepts your apology and doesn't ask for anything in terms of reparations. This shows they are open to reestablishing the trust and continue the working relationship. Of course, there might be some aftermath after the incident. For example, lingering guilt and elevated self-consciousness on your end, or increased vigilance and suspicion on theirs. But as we mentioned a few lessons back, time and consistency often fix these emotions. Just remember, patience is paramount in negotiations. Awesome! Now your negotiation toolbox is almost complete, and you're one lesson away from our case study. It will be a fun one. Get excited!